Cleaning out the ash trap is easy with the Troops BBQ pizza grill. There's two compartments. There's the top grilling compartment and the bottom coal compartment. To clean out the ashtray, simply scrape any of the remaining ashes down into the lower drawer. Remove any unused pieces, and then the drawer simply slides out. Makes it very convenient to empty the ashes. The ash drawer comes with little pegs on the end, so it's very easy to insert it, but then it also keeps it from falling out. You want to make sure when you push it in that you push it all the way up so it rests right above the ridge, so it would be above the Troops logo. Hi, I'm Mike Elliott. I'm going to show you how to light the coals in the Troops BBQ pizza oven. It's very easy. I like to start with a fuel block first. Just place it right in the grate to hold the coals, and then I like to stack the coals around it. So I just start by building a pyramid around the fuel block. I really prefer the fuel block over lighter fluid for several reasons. The first reason is you don't have any of the smell from the lighter fluid on your pizza. But in addition to that, you don't have to worry about the lighter fluid falling into the ash drawer and causing flare-ups when you first light the fire. So you start by building almost an entire circle around the fuel block. Then when your fuel block is almost completely covered, you just want to light it, and it should light just like a candle. And once that's burning, now you can continue to build the coals around the fuel block. The fuel block will burn for probably 5 minutes, and by that time we'll come back and the coals will be already turning gray, and we'll be ready to spread them out and add more coals before we add the wood. Now that we've let about 5 minutes go by, you can see the coals are starting to turn white. You've got a nice red glow in there. So now it's okay to separate the coals. And at this point you want to put new coals on top of the ones that you've already started to heat up, and then that'll just spread. The entire time you're doing this, you want to make sure that the top flue is open on the pizza oven, the chimney, and that the cooking door is closed. At this time, it's okay to start heating up the pizza stone. So this is the pizza stone that comes with the barbecue. It's about 13 inches by 13 inches square. When you receive it, it's going to be a white cream color. After the first few uses, it turns to a lot darker color, and then in fact the bottom even gets more charred. The best way to clean it is just with water. If you have to, just soak it overnight, then just use a metal spatula, carefully scrape off anything that might be on the top. You never want to use soap on it because it's very porous and the soap would actually stick into it, and you don't want to season it with any types of oils. The best thing to do is just to use water on it, but then you do want to heat it up before using it. So we'll go ahead and put it up here in the top and let it start heating up. Alright, and while we're still heating up the coals, we can leave this bottom coal vent door open so that way it gets plenty of oxygen in there and the coals will all, the light will start to spread. Now that the coals are starting to heat up, we can go ahead and close the lower charcoal door. Make sure and leave the damper vent open so there's plenty of oxygen, but this is going to allow the heat to start building up. The main regulator of heat in the pizza oven is this vent on top of the chimney. So when it's closed, you build up more heat. When it's open, less heat. and here's your thermometer. So looks like right now our temperature is almost up to 200 degrees. Today we're going to be doing some deep, thicker crust pizzas, more personal size, not pan because they're just going to be cooked on the stone. But for that we're going to want the temperature around 400 degrees for fresh dough. So until the coals are a little bit warmer, we're going to leave the chimney flue open. So I have a relatively small backyard in Los Angeles, and what I found works well is using the existing barbecue as a table for the prep of the pizza. So it works out well because it's stainless steel. You can put the pizza stone right on it with no issues of burning or scorching, but it's also a great place for people to be able to make their pizzas. So we've just gotten everything prepared. We're going to do some bell peppers. We've got some fresh cut onions and sliced mushrooms with some chicken bratwurst and mozzarella cheese. And in addition to these items, really the only thing you need is the pizza dough. So we've got the pizza dough here covered, and it's been in the bowl rising. Then we need a metal spatula, and then you want to use some sort of oven mitt that's also flame retardant and safe for use around the fire. So checking our temperature, it looks like we're up to a little over 200 degrees right now. I'm going to go ahead and close the chimney flue a little bit so we can start building up more heat. You can see we've got plenty of action going on the coals. And then I also prepared some olive wood. So it's just an olive log, took it and cut it up into little chunks. You can also buy it if you don't want to prepare your own. And there's lots of different woods that you could use, whether it's cherry or oak or hickory. This just happens to be olive wood, which I prefer. So it looks like our temperature is almost up to 400 now. I'm going to go ahead and put in some of the olive wood. Now, some people like to soak it first, but because this is a pizza oven more than a smoker, I like to personally use the wood dry. And if it starts smoking or catches fire, if it catches on fire, then we can always move it to a back corner where it's not directly underneath the stone, and that way we don't have to worry about the crust burning. But it seems to do better, at least the chunk olive wood, when it's not soaked. So we'll give it a little bit more time and we'll be ready to make some pizzas. Okay, you want to just bring the stone over. You have to be careful. Remember, it's very hot. It's 400 degrees. So at this point, we're ready to just build some pizzas right on it. So we've got some pizza dough here. So I found the advantage of building the actual dough right onto the stone like this is the stone is so hot that it keeps the dough from springing back. So it makes it much easier to work with the dough. You just have to be very careful not to actually touch the stone and burn yourself. So we'll put a little bit of pizza sauce on here. And the pizza sauce is the one thing that I tend to cheat on. It's very easy to just buy a canned pizza sauce, or a jar of marinara sauce works great as well. And from here we can put the different toppings on. So let's put some chicken sausage. It's actually chicken bratwurst on this pizza. Put on some bell peppers. Maybe some mushrooms. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the mushrooms is they do have a lot of moisture. So the more mushrooms you put on, the longer it takes to cook. Let's make the small one a veggie pizza. So we'll do some black olives. And we'll do some onions on here. Alright, then we're ready for some grated mozzarella cheese. And the great thing about making the pizzas at home is you can put on the extra cheese if you like extra cheese. We're ready to put the stone back in the oven. Again, you want to be careful when you're handling it. We'll go ahead and open the oven door first, so that way we don't have to juggle the oven door and the pizza stone. Just carry the whole pizza stone over. And we can just very carefully slide the stone. It's still very hot. It retains the heat for a long time. We'll slide the whole stone right back into the oven and close the lid. Now the Troops pizza oven comes with these really nice handles. They are plastic, but they stay very cool, so you don't have to worry about them getting hot and burning yourself. So we're going to go ahead. We're still at 400 degrees. Looks like we've got one of the pieces of olive wood has started to burn, so we're going to go ahead and put it over to the side. Maybe we'll go ahead and put another smaller piece up onto those coals. So let's see how our pizzas look. They've been in there for about 7 minutes now. Wow, they're really starting to look good. The mozzarella is melting nicely. You can see that the crust is starting to rise as it bakes. It's very easy to see when this pizza is done because you'll be able to take the spatula and start to lift it up off the stone. That also means that we'll be able to make sure that we're not burning the crust. We're still at 400 degrees, so we don't need to do anything with the damper on the chimney. And I've got the vents on the bottom coals about halfway closed. So it seems very easy to regulate temperature on the barbecue. Okay, so our pizza's been in there for 22 minutes now, and we're still doing a good job holding temperature at 400 degrees, and it definitely looks like the pizza is done. You can see it starting to crisp up along the edges. Let's get the spatula. We'll just use the spatula to lift it up. Sometimes you have to kind of work it around, but you can see it's very easy coming off the stone, and it's definitely done. So it's not burned, but it's starting to get pretty dark right there. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Again, we're going to use the tongs that we've been using to grab the stone and pull it out of the pizza oven far enough to use the heat-resistant mitt to pick it up. And we're ready to serve our first pizza. So grab the spatula, take this guy right off this pizza stone. See there where the crust looks like it's well done. And I have found that it works better to make smaller pizzas like this rather than really big pizzas. So the big pizzas definitely will cook differently. If you're going to want to do a big pizza, I would recommend a very thin crust.